There is a quiet hesitation that appears just before happiness has the chance to settle. Not sadness, not doubt. Just a soft pause inside you, as if something is being held back at the last moment. You might notice it when things are going well, when the air feels lighter than usual, when ease arrives without needing to be earned. Instead of fully relaxing into it, a part of you stays alert, watching, waiting, as if happiness is something that needs supervision. This feeling rarely announces itself as fear. It often wears the language of restraint, of realism, of staying grounded. You may tell yourself that you're simply not getting ahead of yourself, that you're keeping perspective, that you've learned not to exaggerate good moments. And because this explanation sounds sensible, it becomes part of how you move through your days. Happiness is allowed, but only in small, carefully measured portions. This response did not appear randomly. It took shape in moments where joy was followed by correction, loss, or withdrawal, where being visibly happy attracted attention that felt intrusive or destabilizing, where excitement invited disappointment, or ease was interrupted suddenly and without warning. Over time, your system learned to associate happiness with exposure, with the risk of being seen too clearly, or of losing something just after you'd allowed yourself to love it. You may have learned early on that happiness makes you visible, that it lifts you out of the background, that it invites expectations, comments, demands. And if visibility once felt unsafe, it makes sense that you would learn to dim your joy rather than broadcast it. Happiness became something private, internal, carefully contained so it wouldn't ripple outward and attract consequences. There is often a moral tone attached to this restraint, an unspoken belief that happiness should be modest, earned, justified, that enjoying things too openly might appear careless, or insensitive to others, or blind to reality. So even when life offers you a moment of ease, you meet it with balance rather than surrender, with gratitude but also with caution. This pattern can look like emotional maturity from the outside. You don't chase highs, you don't get swept away. You remain composed, steady, thoughtful. But inside, there is effort involved in maintaining that steadiness, a low-level vigilance that never fully powers down, a sense of being on standby, even during moments that could have been restful. Over time, this vigilance becomes part of your baseline. Your body learns to stay slightly braced. Your attention stays outward-facing, scanning for changes. Happiness, when it appears, feels brief not because it ends quickly, but because you don't let yourself arrive fully inside it. You touch it, acknowledge it, then step back before it has the chance to soften you. This fear isn't about believing you don't deserve happiness. It's about remembering what happiness once cost. The emotional whiplash of things turning, the feeling of being unprepared when something good was taken away. Somewhere along the way, your system decided it was safer not to get used to ease, safer not to rely on joy, safer to stay slightly detached even when things were going well. Because if you don't lean in too far, the fall won't hurt as much. If you don't let happiness settle, you won't have to grieve it as deeply. This logic is quiet, internal, and deeply protective. It doesn't shout. It simply adjusts your posture toward life, keeping you ready. Nothing is wrong with you for living this way. There is intelligence in this caution. It has helped you remain functional in unpredictable environments. It has kept you from being blindsided, from being overwhelmed, from being caught off guard by sudden change. This fear has served a purpose, even if it now feels limiting. When happiness appears now, it may feel unfamiliar. Not because you don't want it, but because your system hasn't learned how to rest inside it yet. Stillness can feel strange when you've spent years preparing for movement. Ease can feel suspicious when effort has been your default. You may notice a subtle impatience with happiness, a sense that it's temporary, it won't last, that something else must be coming next. This isn't pessimism, it's memory. A body that learned to anticipate endings is a way of staying safe. This doesn't mean happiness is fragile. It means your system hasn't fully updated the conditions under which it feels secure. It's still responding to an earlier landscape, one where joy needed to be moderated to avoid harm. You don't need to force yourself to feel happier. You don't need to convince yourself that things are fine, or remind yourself to enjoy the moment. Happiness doesn't deepen under pressure. It grows, if it grows at all, through permission rather than effort. Simply noticing the hesitation can be enough. The moment where you almost relax, then pull back. The moment where you feel good, then remind yourself not to get used to it. These moments aren't mistakes. They're signals, not of weakness, but of experience. There is no requirement to overcome this fear. There's no expectation that you suddenly trust happiness completely. Trust builds slowly, especially when it has been interrupted before. It forms through repeated experiences of safety, not through decisions or declarations. For now, it may be enough to let happiness exist without interrogation, to allow it to pass through you without needing to predict its ending, to notice when you stay guarded, and to let that guardedness be there without argument. You don't have to hold happiness tightly. You don't have to push it away either. It can sit beside you, quietly, without demands. In that space, unhurried, unresolved, and gentle, you remain present exactly as you are, without needing to become anything else.